Hello, everyone. I'm James. Tonight's story is one of those cases that just grabs you by the throat and won't let go. A woman searching for happiness, a husband humiliated beyond reason, and a best friend harboring a secret obsession. It all exploded because of one photo, yes, one single photo posted on Instagram. A picture that shattered a 17-year marriage, triggered a violent murder, and uncovered a shocking betrayal hiding in plain sight. Oh my God. You won't believe how deep this betrayal went. The lies, the manipulation, the raw jealousy. It's the kind of story that makes you question how well you really know the people closest to you. In the end, one woman would be dead, another in handcuffs, and a man facing decades behind bars, all because someone decided to play God with someone else's life. What really happened that night in Sacramento? Who posted that photo? And why did it feel like everything was orchestrated down to the minute? This isn't just a murder story. It's about rage, it's about envy, and it's about what happens when someone snaps because of a lie. So grab a drink, turn off the lights, and settle in, because this one is wild. And if you love real jaw-dropping true crime stories just like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because at Crime 98 BG, we tell it like it is raw, real, and unforgettable. It was 4:45 in the morning. Rain hammered the windshield of Detective Rashawn Jameson's cruiser as he turned onto Meadowbrook Avenue. Sirens wailed through the sleeping streets of southern Sacramento, flashing red and blue against the quiet walls of modest homes. He hadn't slept in 72 hours, and now he was being called to another death. "Detective Jameson," a voice called out as Rashawn stepped out of the car. It was Officer Parker Young, pale and red-eyed from exhaustion. A neighbor reported hearing screams all night. When she went to check this morning, she found a body. Oh no! Rashawn's jaw clenched as he pulled on latex gloves and walked through the front door of the small single-story house. At first glance, it looked so normal. A worn-out couch, coffee mug still on the table, family photos smiling down from the walls. But nothing could prepare him for what was in the kitchen. There, lying on the cold linoleum floor, was the body of a woman, early 40s, dark skin, hospital scrubs soaked in blood. Beaded braids clung to the pool beneath her head like tragic ribbons. 6 stab wounds. "My God," Rashawn whispered. This was personal. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. This was rage. The medical examiner quietly reported the time of death between 9 and 11 p.m. the night before. As Rashawn crouched beside the body, he spotted something glinting by her hand. A broken smartphone, its screen cracked but still glowing. And what he saw on that screen made his blood run cold. A photo. A smiling Latonia Mayweather in the arms of a man barely in his 20s, hugging her, kissing her cheek. Captioned, "Found my true happiness. It's never too late to start over." "Oh no. Bag this as evidence," Rashawn ordered, "and find me the husband. What's his name?" Monty Mayweather, Officer Parker replied. 50, works at a Walmart warehouse. Neighbors say his car was gone around midnight. A domestic case, the most dangerous kind, when love curdles into hatred and passion becomes a weapon. Outside, under the porch light, an elderly neighbor wrapped in a raincoat and curlers was waiting. "I didn't want to get involved," she said, her voice trembling, but they were shouting. He kept yelling, "You disgraced me. Everyone knows now." She was begging him to calm down. Oh. Then it went quiet, too quiet. Did he hit her before Rashawn asked? Not that I saw, the neighbor whispered, but he drank, and he had a temper. She glanced nervously toward the crime scene. They were always broke, argued about money constantly. He thought she was cheating, and she'd had enough. Rashawn took it all in. A storm was brewing in this house long before the rain outside ever started. Inside, forensic techs worked quietly, but Rashawn's instincts were screaming. Something wasn't right. A broken man, a broken phone, and a photo that may have been the final nail in a fragile marriage already on the edge of collapse. By midday, Detective Rashawn Jameson had pieced together a clearer picture of who the Mayweathers were. Latonia Mayweather, 43 years old, worked long hours in the cafeteria at Sacramento Memorial Hospital. No kids, no vacation photos, just bills and work. DeMonte Mayweather, 50, had been employed for 15 years at a Walmart distribution center. Gruff, temperamental, and according to neighbors, often drunk after 9 p.m. Their marriage had been unraveling for years, slowly, silently, like a ship taking on water. No one notices until it's too late. They fought about everything one neighbor said: groceries, bills, even what channel to watch. But lately, something had changed. Latonia had started dressing differently: brighter lipstick, new clothes, perfume. Was it confidence or a signal? Rashawn reviewed the last post on her Instagram again, the photo of her and the young man, the caption still echoing in his mind. Found my true happiness. It's never too late to start over. 27 likes, and one fatal consequence. He looked through her address book and circled a name, Shakuna Coleman, marked as best friend with 3 hearts beside it. He drove across town to Shakuna's house. It was a cozy home with children's toys scattered across the porch. She opened the door, holding a toddler on her hip. Her eyes said it before her mouth did. "This is about Latonia, isn't it?" Rashawn nodded. "Can I come in?" Inside the house smelled of formula and faint lavender. Photos of 3 children decorated the walls. Rashawn could tell she and Latonia had history. "We've been best friends since middle school," Shakuna said. "I was a bridesmaid at her wedding." "And how would you describe her marriage to DeMonte?" At first, she sighed. He worshipped her, called her my queen. Then her face darkened. But over the years, he changed, got controlling, jealous, accused her of hiding money, seeing other men, and she was tired. "What about the young man in the photo? Do you know him?" Shakuna hesitated, glancing at the toddler who had now fallen asleep on her shoulder. "His name's Jamarius. He's like 20. Works at the hospital too, does janitorial stuff, I think." "And Latonia?" "She told me a few months ago she said he made her feel alive, said for the first time in years someone saw her." Shakuna's eyes welled with tears. "I told her it was dangerous, that DeMonte would lose it, but she was done hiding. She wanted out, said she'd leave him, even asked if she could crash on my couch." "Do you think DeMonte knew?" "I don't think so. She was careful, deleted her messages, cleared her browser. But lately, it was like she stopped caring." Rashawn scribbled furiously in his notebook. Every word painted a picture of a woman who'd finally had enough, and a man who wouldn't let go. "What about Jamarius? Would you say he loved her?" Shakuna looked away. "I don't know. Maybe. But Latonia loved him. I saw it in her face." As Rashawn stood to leave, Shakuna added one more thing. "She didn't deserve this." He nodded and silently walked out the door. But in the back of his mind, he couldn't shake the feeling. Someone had lit this fire long before the knife ever came out. By now, everything pointed in one direction: jealousy. But Rashawn Jameson had learned never to settle for the obvious. In homicide, the most dangerous truths were often buried under what seemed clear. So he needed to find Jamarius Brookins, the young man in the Instagram photo. The Sacramento Memorial Hospital confirmed that Jamarius, 20 years old, had been working part-time as a janitor while attending college. They gave Rashawn his class schedule. At 2 p.m. that afternoon, Rashawn met Jamarius in the hospital's tiny staff lounge. He was thin with tight dreadlocks and tired, anxious eyes, hands trembling as he sat down. "Mr. Brookins," Rashawn began gently, "you know why I'm here." Jamarius nodded, barely able to speak. "Latonia, she's really gone." "I'm afraid so." Jamarius looked down, biting his lip. I loved her. That hit like a hammer, raw, unfiltered. Tell me about your relationship. Jamarius hesitated, searching for words. We met in the cafeteria. She was always nice to me. She'd sneak me an extra muffin, save me leftovers. He laughed softly, then grew quiet again. It started as just talking. Then one night, she was crying. Said DeMonte had screamed at her. I hugged her. That was it. We kissed. And after that, we saw each other whenever we could, after her shift, when DeMonte worked nights, sometimes in motels or parks. Jamarius's voice cracked. She said I made her feel alive again, like she wasn't invisible. Oh, God. Did you love her? Yes, I still do. I know how it looks, but I wasn't using her. It wasn't just sex. We were planning something real. She wanted to leave him. Did DeMonte know? No, at least not from us. She kept it secret. Deleted messages, didn't even save our photos. Rashawn paused. Then explained this. He held up the photo, the one from Instagram. It was posted last night. Caption said, "Found my true happiness." Jamarius stared in shock. What? No, she would never post that. Never. It was posted from her account at 8:30 p.m. Jamarius stood up, shaking. That's not possible. She deleted our pictures right after I sent them. Always. Where were you last night between 7 and 9? At school. We had a sociology seminar from 7 to 10. Ask Professor Jackson. There were 30 people there. I even gave a presentation at 8:30. Rashawn blinked. The exact time the photo went up. He wrote it down. We'll verify that. And no, I don't have her Instagram password. I wasn't even following her there. We kept everything private. Off the grid. Rashawn stood up. Thank you, Mr. Brookins. If you remember anything else. I loved her, Jamarius said again, barely above a whisper. I would never hurt her. As Rashawn walked away, something clicked in his mind like a snapped wire. This wasn't just an affair. This was a powder keg, and someone had lit the match. By the time Rashawn Jameson received the next call, he wasn't even surprised. DeMonte Mayweather's car had been spotted in the parking lot of a rundown bar on the edge of town. Leroy's a place known more for broken men than cold beers. It was 4 in the afternoon, the sky still gray from morning rain. Rashawn entered the bar quietly. Inside, only 3 customers. 2 were slumped over a pool table. The third, a stocky man with a graying beard, sat at the bar, nursing a half-empty glass of whiskey. No doubt, it was DeMonte. The bartender leaned in and whispered, "He's been here since noon. That's his 3rd drink. Been muttering something about betrayal." Rashawn motioned for backup to hold outside. Then calmly, he walked over. "Mr. Mayweather." The man turned his head slowly. His eyes were red sunken, face bloated, a man undone. "I'm Detective Jameson with the Sacramento Police Department. I need you to come with me." DeMonte stared at his drink, then downed the last swallow in a single gulp. "I knew you'd come," he muttered. "It's over." He didn't run, didn't argue. He just stood up and held out his hands for the cuffs. Outside, as rain misted again, Rashawn noticed something that chilled him. Blood on DeMonte's shoes, dried but visible. He hadn't even tried to clean it off. Almost like he wanted to be caught. Back at the station, DeMonte sat hunched in the interrogation room. The air was stale, heavy with sweat and silence. His hands trembled slightly in the cuffs. Rashawn entered with 2 cups of coffee and sat across from him. "We met at the bar," Rashawn said. "Have your rights been read?" DeMonte nodded. "I know what I did." The tape recorder clicked on. Rashawn spoke into the mic. Interview with DeMonte Mayweather, suspect in the murder of Latonia Mayweather, time 5:42 p.m. "Then tell me what happened." DeMonte looked down for a long time, as if the story weighed too much to speak. I got home around 7, he finally said. She was in the kitchen cooking dinner. Everything seemed fine. He swallowed hard. My phone was dead and my mama had called earlier. I asked to use hers. She said it was charging. I went to the bedroom to get it. That's when I saw it. The phone screen lit up. Instagram was still open. A pause. And there it was. That photo. Her, him, hugging. He's kissing her. And that damn caption. Found my true happiness, DeMonte repeated bitterly, like I was some trash she'd thrown away. His voice cracked. I don't remember much after that. I screamed. I asked how she could humiliate me like that, make me look like a fool to the world. 17 years we were together, through everything. She tried to deny it at first, said I misunderstood, then she told me the truth. Rashawn waited his pen still. She said she didn't love me anymore, that he made her feel young, said she was leaving, taking our savings, starting over. DeMonte's fists clenched. That's when I snapped. I don't even remember grabbing the knife. I just remember blood, so much blood. He lowered his head. I didn't mean to kill her. I swear to God, I didn't want this. I wanted to scream to hit a wall, but not this. Rashawn's voice was calm. What did you do after? I dropped the knife, tried to stop the bleeding, but it was too late. I grabbed her phone, smashed it against the wall. Then I drove. Ended up at that bar, just wanted to disappear. You didn't clean your shoes. DeMonte gave a hollow laugh. Why would I wanted you to find me. Rashawn nodded, then asked the final question. Do you know who the man in the photo is? Never seen him in my life. Just some punk. What's his name? Jamarius Brookins, 20 years old, works with your wife at the hospital. DeMonte stared. You find him yet? We're looking into it. The detective stood. That's all for today. As Rashawn walked out, he paused and looked back. A man broken. Not just by betrayal, but by the realization that in one moment of rage, he had ended everything. Rashawn Jameson had seen confessions before, angry ones, broken ones, even cold, calculated ones. But DeMonte's it felt too clean, too rehearsed. Yes, he was guilty. Yes, he was enraged, but something about the timing of that Instagram post, it didn't sit right. DeMonte said he saw the post on Latonia's phone at 7 p.m., but the timestamp showed it was posted at 8:30 p.m., a full hour and a half later. And the photo, it wasn't recent. Rashawn returned to the tech department where analyst Isaac Freeman was already knee-deep in digital forensics. Isaac was a wiry man with thick glasses and a coffee addiction that bordered on clinical. You said you had something, Rashawn asked. Isaac nodded and spun his monitor around. Here's the Instagram activity from Latonia's account. Rashawn squinted. There were 3 posts made the day she died, Isaac said. One at 2 p.m. lunch photo, one at 6:20 p.m. a quote about happiness, and one at 8:30 the photo with the kid. All within a few hours. Exactly. But look at this. Isaac pointed at a chart. Each post came from a different IP address. What? Lunch photo, hospital Wi-Fi. Quote, post home Wi-Fi. And the final photo, Isaac clicked open metadata. It came from a Starbucks 5 miles away. Wait, from a Starbucks? Yep, Arden Shopping Center, public network. Rashawn leaned in. So the photo was posted from somewhere other than her home. Isaac nodded. And that's not all. Check this. He opened the photo file itself and pulled up the EXIF data. Date taken 121 days ago. 3 months. Rashawn's eyes widened. It wasn't even a new picture. Isaac continued. Whoever posted this wanted it to look fresh, but they just pulled an old image from storage. Rashawn leaned back. So, what you're telling me is someone scheduled this whole thing, posted an old photo from a coffee shop at a time when Latonia was already home, and likely dead. Exactly. And it wasn't posted from her phone. Nope, from a laptop. We confirmed it was uploaded via desktop web browser. Rashawn rubbed his temples. Who would do that? Isaac hesitated, then opened Latonia's Signal app. Here's where it gets weirder. He pulled up a message thread with contact JB. Jamarcus. Yep, they messaged every day. But look here, 6:50 p.m. the night of the murder. Latonia sends, "We have to stop this. I can't leave my husband. I'm sorry." And his reply, there was none, because Isaac clicked another tab. That message wasn't sent from her phone either. It was sent from the web version of Signal, again from the same Starbucks IP.
Oh my God!
Someone was impersonating Latonia. Isaac nodded solemnly, and setting the stage for murder. Rashawn's mind raced. He checked the call logs. The last person Latonia spoke to, Shakuna Coleman. 6 calls the night before she died. The last one lasted almost an hour. He opened the calendar on Latonia's phone. 5 Tazaruf p.m. Coffee with S. Rashawn felt the chill rise in his chest. She met with Shakuna at 5 p.m. And the photo was posted 3.5 hours later from the same Starbucks. He called Isaac again. Get me the security footage from Ardon Starbucks, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm already on it, Isaac replied. If Rashawn was right, the killer wasn't just the one who stabbed Latonia. It was the person who handed DeMonte the knife digitally. By morning, Rashawn had what he needed. The footage from the Ardon Starbucks was in, and it confirmed everything. At 5:05 p.m., Latonia Mayweather walked in with a neutral expression. She sat down at a table near the window with a woman who was already waiting, Shakuna Coleman. Rashawn leaned forward, eyes glued to the screen. Their conversation was long, animated, tense. Latonia pointed at her phone several times. Shakuna gestured emotionally. At 5:47, Latonia stood clearly upset and left the cafe. But Shakuna, she stayed. She stayed for 3 more hours. She sat right there, sipping a second coffee, occasionally typing on her phone. Then at 8:28 p.m., just 2 minutes before the Instagram post, she pulled a laptop out of her bag, opened it, and began typing. Rashawn's heart pounded. Isaac, he called, did you run the MAC address check from that Starbucks Wi-Fi? Yep, Isaac answered, eyes locked to his own screen. A laptop with Shakuna's IP was connected at exactly 8:28, and again, same device accessed Latonia's Signal account at 6:50. Oh my God! It wasn't just a coincidence. It was deliberate. Get me a search warrant, Rashawn said. We're bringing her in. An hour later, Rashawn stood outside Shakuna's modest house. Kids' bikes were scattered across the lawn. It was early, but she was already dressed, nervous. Detective Jameson? She asked, eyes darting. We have a warrant, Rashawn said, holding up the paper. We need access to your laptop and phone, and I need you to come with me. She froze, her breath caught. Is this about what I told you the other day? No, Rashawn said coldly. It's about what you didn't. Inside her home, officers collected devices while Rashawn escorted her to the car. At the station, she sat across from him, no longer the calm, tearful friend. Now she was visibly shaking. Miss Coleman, Rashawn began, you told me you hadn't seen Latonia the day she died. That was a lie. Shakuna blinked rapidly. I forgot. We just had coffee. That's all. You forgot a 2-hour meeting the night your best friend was murdered. I didn't think it mattered. Rashawn dropped a photo on the table, a screenshot of the Starbucks footage showing Shakuna at 8:30 on her laptop. You stayed, and you accessed Latonia's accounts. Shakuna's face went pale. Why Miss Coleman? She looked down at her hands, silent. Rashawn pulled another document. Signal message sent from your laptop, fake breakup, followed by an Instagram post that you knew would enrage DeMonte. Her hands trembled. Then, "I didn't mean to kill her," she whispered.
What?
I I wanted her to feel it, what it's like to be betrayed, to lose something." "Tell me everything," Rashawn said. And she did. Shakuna had been in love with DeMonte since high school, but he chose Latonia. And for years she waited, silently, watching their marriage crumble. She was the friend, the helper, the one who never got chosen. Then one afternoon she saw them, Latonia and Jamarius, kissing in the park. She snapped a photo. At first, she just kept it. But as Latonia began planning her escape, talking about moving out, building a new life, something inside Shakuna broke. "I begged her not to do it," she cried. "I told her if she left DeMonte, she'd lose me too. I warned her." She laughed, said she didn't need people who didn't support her. So Shakuna stayed at Starbucks, used Latonia's saved passwords, sent a fake breakup message to Jamarius, and posted the old photo to Instagram with a cruel caption. I knew DeMonte would see it. I knew he'd snap. She didn't expect murder, but she wanted the fallout. I thought he'd scream, maybe throw her out, and then maybe he'd turn to me. Tears streamed down her face. But I didn't know he'd kill her. Rashawn stared. Shakuna Coleman didn't plunge the knife, but she'd lit the fuse and stood back to watch it burn. After filing the arrest report, Rashawn knew he had one final thing to do. DeMonte Mayweather was still in holding, sitting alone staring at the floor as if even the walls were too ashamed to look at him. Rashawn entered quietly and sat down across from him. "Mr. Mayweather," he began, "there's something you need to know." DeMonte didn't look up. "What now? You gonna tell me she didn't cheat?" "No," Rashawn said. "She did. The relationship with Jamarius was real, but that post you saw on her phone, that photo, that wasn't her." DeMonte slowly lifted his head, confusion creeping across his face. "What do you mean, wasn't her?" Rashawn slid a folder across the table. It was posted from a Starbucks, 3 hours after she met with her best friend, Shakuna Coleman, the same friend who stayed there long after she left. Shakuna DeMonte's voice cracked. "No, that can't be." "She used Latonia's password. She sent a fake breakup message to Jamarius and posted that old photo just to provoke you." Silence. Dead silence. And then DeMonte let out a sound that was somewhere between a laugh and a groan. He leaned back in his chair, shaking his head. "My God," she confessed, Rashawn added, "said she loved you, had loved you for years." DeMonte stared blankly at the wall. "Shakuna, she was just always around, helping out, bringing food when we fought, checking in on me. I never even looked at her that way, not once." Rashawn gave him a long moment. Finally, DeMonte muttered, "So I killed my wife, over a lie." "No," Rashawn said carefully. "You killed her over your rage, but that rage was fed, manipulated. Someone handed you the blade and let you do the rest." DeMonte clenched his jaw. "You know what the worst part is," he said. "Even if the photo had been real, it still wouldn't have justified what I did." Rashawn nodded. "You're right. I should have walked out, let her go, let her find her happiness, but I couldn't take being humiliated, being the joke." "She wasn't trying to humiliate you," Rashawn replied softly. "She was trying to escape. That doesn't excuse the affair, but it explains the desperation." "I was too proud to listen," DeMonte whispered. He looked at his cuffed wrists. "You said prison's coming." Rashawn nodded. "Manslaughter, crime of passion, you'll likely serve time, but not life." DeMonte exhaled slowly. "Life, I'm already serving it." Rashawn stood up. "The court will handle the sentencing, but what you live with now, that's your real sentence." As he walked out, DeMonte whispered one last thing behind him. I just wanted to feel like I mattered. And for the first time, Rashawn didn't know what to say. Back at his desk, Rashawn reviewed everything one last time. The murder weapon, the digital footprints, the fake message, the manipulated photo, the broken hearts. Latonia Mayweather, dead. DeMonte Mayweather, arrested. Shakuna Coleman, charged with manslaughter and criminal incitement. Jamarius Brookins, grieving a woman he loved, blamed for a crime he never saw coming. 4 lives destroyed by obsession, by jealousy, by silence. Rashawn closed the file. In the box marked status, he wrote solved. But deep down, he knew better. No one won here. This wasn't justice. It was just tragedy. So that was the story of how a photo, a single photo, destroyed 4 lives. One woman died searching for freedom. One man killed out of wounded pride. One young lover was left haunted by a love he couldn't protect. And a best friend, consumed by years of silent jealousy, pulled the strings that started it all. What began as a hidden affair ended in blood betrayal and the cruelest kind of truth. Oh my God, but who could have seen this coming? That a forged Instagram post, a fake message, could be just as deadly as a weapon in the wrong hands. This wasn't just about infidelity. This was manipulation. This was envy turned into a weapon. This was betrayal calculated down to the minute. And when the dust settled, nobody walked away clean. Latonia Mayweather never got to start over. DeMonte will live with the weight of his actions for the rest of his life. Jamarius lost the one person who made him feel seen and valued. And Shakuna, she'll forever be the friend who let jealousy turn her into something else entirely. Stories like this remind us of one chilling truth: the deepest wounds are rarely visible, and the worst betrayals don't always come from enemies. If this story hit you like it hit me, if it made you angry, speechless, or just left you staring at the screen, then do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button, because these stories matter, and we're just getting started. Until next time, I'm James. Stay sharp, stay kind, and remember, not everything you see is the truth.